Hi there, I'm Jason Podolin from Up My Hockey, and I'm back with another Lessons from a Pro teaching series. And in this video, we're going to discuss the 3 steps to greatness with Willard Reaves. Willard Reaves was a guest on episode 109 of my Up My Hockey podcast. He is a former most outstanding player, award winner in the CFL for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and he's also the father of Ryan Reaves, current NHLer, who I'm sure you are familiar with. Willard was an outstanding athlete himself, and he raised 2 outstanding athletes in Ryan and Jordan, his sons. And he, meaning Willard, had a process to become his best. We call it the 3 steps to greatness here at Up My Hockey, and it's actually a formula that I use with my clients to become their best. So here is Willard Reaves and the 3 steps to greatness.
When I was playing, the passion was always there. I always had to be the best, right? At what I knew. Okay. In my position, I needed to be the best, right? And it's not something, I got a big head about it and stuff like this. I just wanted to make sure that when I'm out there, I'm getting my all for the team itself, right? I'm more of a team player, never ever being an individual player.
Step 1 is a decision, and that decision is, do you want to be your best? In Willard's case, he's like, I want to be the best. That's an even bigger choice. I encourage my athletes to say, do you want to be your best? If you can answer that question, yes, and if you can mean it, then there are things that you are going to have to do in order for that to happen. Wanting something is one thing. Deciding to do something is another. So step 1 comes with a decision. Do you want to be your best? And if you answer yes to that, then we move on to step 2. What did that mean to you about being the best? Like what was involved in that for Willard Reeves?
Preparation, you get in, you prepare yourself, you know what you have to do. You study film, and well, during the off season you worked hard. You're working out, you're running, you're doing all the things that you know that you're going to use when the game is on, and just being dedicated to that particular area, just making sure that you are in the best shape that you can possibly be in, right? And you're mentally prepared to do what is asked you to do by your coach, by your team. You have that mindset. And when you have that mindset, you're helping other players, you're helping your team be that much better.
Step 2 is master the controllables. You hear Willard talking about all the things that he did that were within his power to control: his preparation, his mindset, his fitness. These things that were within his control as an athlete, his controllables, that he took immense amounts of pride in. In the Peak Potential Hockey Project, my 4-week program for hockey players, we break down the controllables for hockey players that I want players to become masterful at. And that is exactly what you have to do when you're chasing your peak potential, or in this case, the 3 steps to greatness, your own personal greatness. You have to be a professional and a master at the controllables for your sport. When we're talking about like degrees of difference, right, especially at the professional level, you have to have a personal standard that's even above theirs, right?
Yes,
Like, how do you think that you showed up a little differently, and how did that example affect those around you?
my work ethics. Okay. When we're at practice, for instance, right? Sometime, you see a running back, he'll get the ball, and you're just practicing against your defense, and it's thud. When we talk about thud, when you hit the player, you hold him and then let him go, right? Well, mine was hitting the hole as hard as I can, even in practice, right? And not just running for maybe 10 yards, then stop and then turn around, come back and throw the ball to the center. I ran 40 yards full speed every single time I had the ball, even if I was tackled or taken to the ground, I would get up and I would take off for 40 yards. I always did that, right? And it showed on the football field, right? I always had this thought pattern where there's a guy right there, there's a linebacker there. I need to get 10 yards behind him, right? As he's coming at me, right? No matter what it is, I'm going to hit him or he's going to miss me, but I'm going to get 10 yards beyond him. I
Right.
always went beyond where I should have stopped, right? So where I should have stopped is where they wanted me to stop at, right? Where I wanted to stop was beyond that. So I always went beyond.
So, step three is all about creating a personal standard, your personal standard, the personal standard for you that allows you to be your best, or in Willard's case, the best. His personal standard, something that he went beyond on, was the idea that he took the ball 40 yards every time he touched it. Whether he got knocked down at the 5, whether he got stuck somewhere else, he would get up and he would go an additional 40 yards. That was a standard that Willard created for himself that was outside and was bigger than everyone else around him. Remember, he's playing professional football and he still found a way to create a personal standard that was beyond everybody else's, to push his own limits and to push the limits of the players around him as well. But that is what you need to do. Step three is create personal standards outside of your personal comfort zone. We always need to be stretching. And if you want to be your best, then your standards have to rise. If you want to be the best, then you have to have standards that are better than everybody else's. It doesn't just happen because you think you want it to happen. It happens because, one, you decide that you're going to do it. Step two, you find the controllables, you understand the controllables, and you master them. And then step three, you create personal standards that are higher than where you currently are now, because right now you aren't your best, or you also elevate to standards that are outside of anyone else's that you're aware of. Personal standards become habits. Habits become who you are. And if you want to be the best player you can be, master these 3 steps, and you're going to be well on your way. Play hard and keep your head up.